Hey everyone, this is Gleb Bakhmutov, and today I want to show you how I check arrays in Cypress. So imagine I have an array, let's say of countries, and I want to check if that array of primitive values has a specific value. To the left, my editor is on the right, so there is explicit chai assertion where we can say expect array to include and then the value. So let's say Denmark, right? Runs once, checks the array. If it passes, shows green. If it fails, throws a fails test. Now let's look at the second array of ages. Initially it's empty, but it exists. And then at some point there is a number 10, number 30, number 42. So let's confirm that this array of ages includes number 42. We cannot use an explicit assertion because we want to have retries. We want to check array again and again. The explicit chai assertion just tries once and then fails. But we can wrap the ages array and we can hide it so it's not reflected in the log. And now that it's a current subject in the Cypress chain, we can use should include, that's the name of assertion, and then the value we want to find. Notice it keeps retrying and even prints all the values, so you can see the array changing. And at some point, during one of the retries, that array includes 32, and the assertion passes and the test completes. And the include assertion is a synonym to contain assertion, so we can use either one. I like include. And another thing, the equality is checked using strict equality. So for example, if you use, let's say 42 as a string, it doesn't pass. It has to be number 42, like this. And I usually check arrays when I check multiple network requests. In Cypress, once you intercept a request, you can use wait to get a single intercept and check it. But sometimes the application sends multiple requests, like in the next example. So in the next example, let's run it. The application is sending analytics events to the backend at some intervals. So the first one is login, another one is cart empty, and let's say we want to confirm that one of those analytics events at some point includes event ID equals to cart empty. So how can we do this? Well, we need to intercept all the post requests to analytics, and because we don't have a backend, I'm going to stop it. So I'll provide third value. I'm going to give it an alias analytics, and now we can see those requests there. So what we want to do is to get all the requests that are intercepted right now. So I'll say analytics dot all. So this gives me an array at that particular moment. So notice the test already finished when those intercepts happen. So we want to retry finding the actual event ID card empty. So right now in that array we can say maybe we want to map each intercept to its request body. Okay, and inside the body we have event ID. So I'll map it right here. And now we actually need to find the cart empty value. So I'll say should include cart empty and single quote. And notice this array of intercepted event IDs initially is empty and then gets the login and then gets the cart empty. We keep intercepting the application requests. We get the nested property of an ID from request body object, and we keep checking the array of strings. So that's nice. But sometimes a more complex applications, what they do is they buffer the events and then they send a list of events just to save on bandwidth. And I have an example prepared for this. So right here, notice that depending on the map random, we either send separate requests, just like in the previous example. Sometimes we send both events as an array. So it's an array with two objects. And let me just run this test by itself, and I'm gonna grab same test logic, and I'm just gonna post it right here. And notice it passed because if you saw, there were two analytics events, right? Each one with a single object, just like before. But if we keep rerunning this test, sometimes we'll see it fail because it will send, okay, right here. So if we look at what the request sent and we click on the analytics, we can see the request body has two objects in an array. Okay, so here's what we can do. At this point, right, we could have a situation where we have an array, and let's just maybe map it like this. So first we get the request body, and then, okay, perfect. So what do we have here? If we look at, cannot clearly show what's inside. Let's maybe print it. Okay, so notice it's an array of arrays, right? Because the first intercept had an array sent. So what we need to do right here is invoke the standard flat method to flatten an array. So imagine right here we have, sometimes we have object like this, event ID, all right, something. But sometimes you have maybe one call was like this and another one was an array with several event IDs, right, with objects. So we want to remove a nested array and flatten everything into one array. And after that, you can just get the event ID and everything should be the same, no matter if there were two calls, like in this case, or a single call that sent an array. So this example is available on my Cypress example site. I'm going to put the link in the description of this video.